I caught him in the act before I even realized I was looking. His laptop, left carelessly open on the kitchen counter, was like a window into a life I thought I knew. Receipts, transfers, withdrawals, hundreds of dollars siphoned in the dead of night. My stepdaughter? A convenient excuse. He had been playing me, feeding me the sob story of her impending single motherhood while lining his own pockets. I didn't scream. I didn't throw the nearest object. I closed the laptop gently, like handling a fragile truth I was already prepared to wield. My heart beat in calm, measured strokes. The betrayal stung, but clarity cut sharper. I remember the early days, before suspicion took root. The day I met him, laughter over coffee, soft eyes, the promise of stability after years of solitude. I trusted him like sunlight. I shared my life, my inheritance, my world. And he only shared illusions. At first it was subtle. Late nights working, calls hushed and hurried. The generous husband who wanted to give my money away suddenly became distant, distracted, a ghost in our home. I noticed patterns, missed appointments, strange charges, unexplained expenses. My mind cataloged them quietly, like a ledger of suspicion. Then came the receipts. I'd been curious, not paranoid, just aware. One glance at those lines of numbers and the facade crumbled. My stepdaughter's emergency fund was a lie. Every transfer led to him. Luxury goods, cash withdrawals, weekend trips alone. My stomach churned, but my mind stayed cool. I didn't confront him immediately. I didn't make noise. Instead, I plotted. Every financial record, every email, every whispered excuse was ammunition. I contacted the lawyer I had trusted, reviewed my estate plan, and mapped his debts. I cataloged the evidence meticulously. His freedom to freeload, to manipulate, to play the generous spouse, it was about to end. I let him think he was safe. I smiled at him, soft and obliging. "Sure," I said when he asked for the portion for my stepdaughter. He leaned back, satisfied, imagining control. I watched his chest rise with triumph, not knowing it was the last time. Then came the day I struck. The legal paperwork arrived, crisp and final. Accounts frozen, transfers reversed, lease agreements reviewed. He came home to find his credit lines cut, his attempts to access funds denied, and his desperation undeniable. I didn't need to shout. The weight of consequences fell on him louder than any voice could. He begged, he pleaded, he attempted every manipulation he had used on me for years. But I had built a wall of logic and evidence, a fortress of deliberate moves. No charm, no tears, no threat could pierce it. I saw the realization flicker in his eyes. His time of freeloading was over. The house that had been his playground of deception now loomed like a courtroom. I watched him stumble through the rooms, clutching at fragments of dignity. I saw the fear of homelessness creep into his posture. For years I had masked my anger with smiles, but now I let him see it, the controlled, unwavering justice of someone wronged and unafraid. And in that moment I felt the most profound relief. Not victory in the petty sense, but the liberation of knowing that betrayal could be answered with intellect, strategy, and restraint. I didn't need him broken beyond repair. I needed him exposed, accountable. I closed the door behind me and felt a calm I hadn't known in years. Betrayal had tried to chain me. Greed had tried to define me. But I was still standing, whole, strong. My inheritance, once threatened, had become a shield. My stepdaughter would have her life funded, but not by his lies, not by my suffering. He would rebuild from nothing if he could. He would reflect, helpless, on the precision of my moves. And I walked into my own life, untethered by his deceit, carrying the quiet satisfaction of justice executed. Sometimes I still see the receipts in my mind, not with shock, not with anger, but as proof. Proof that patience, intelligence, and calculated action are stronger than fear, stronger than tears, stronger than betrayal. And proof that some people, no matter how close, will always find themselves on the losing side of someone who refused to be a victim. I allowed him to beg. I allowed him to despair. But I never wavered. That was the lesson he would carry into every empty future he had left. And I carried freedom, finally, like sunlight breaking through the storm.